Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Time. I'm Kaytlin, your co-host.
And I'm Ashlynn, your other co-host, and we're so excited you're joining us today.
We always talk about random things at home, you know? So let's talk about our community for a minute.
Okay.
So, I don't know, so many people say, at least I hear, and I've probably said it, of that it takes a village to raise a child. But how many times do we hear it takes a village to go through life?
Not very often.
I feel like, I don't know. What do you think? I think it takes a village to go through life.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way we can make it through life without someone in our corner.
Absolutely. And to me, I feel like the village is different, the different phases of life we go through. And even in the Bible, it talks about our community. It talks about Jesus spending his life with 12 other people, going through day-to-day struggles, going through whatever. And my opinion, for what it's worth to you, is if Jesus, Son of God, said, I have to surround myself with 12 people to make it through life, what makes us different?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
I think that in today's society, we make it so normal to do everything alone because we're taught from the time we're little that we need to be independent, to not rely on anyone. But how can we do life alone? There's no way. For me personally, there's no way I could have made it through certain parts of my life without other people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, not to say that we don't need to be independent in certain parts.
Of course.
And don't need to rely first on God. But I think that community is meant to say, hey, have you prayed about this?
Your favorite question to ask everyone.
It is my favorite question because it's a true statement. It's a true thing that if we really think about our life and think about what we feel like we're supposed to do, whatever, well, have I prayed about this? It's all sorts of questions.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think it would probably fix lots of families, lots of relationships, whether it's significant other relationships, parent and child relationships, sibling relationship. It would fix all sorts of relationships.
Yeah.
Of have I prayed about it? Whether it's praying for ourselves, our own situations, or other people, or instead of, just going, oh, I'm going to do it alone, going to each other and saying, hey, I'm going to need you to pray with me about this. I know I've done that to you plenty of times.
Yeah.
Might not always be the best time of the day. Midnight, 2 a.m. seems to be my favorite time to be like, hey, I'm going to need you to pray. But it's true. How do you think that as a Christian society or Christian group and society in today's world that goes do it all by yourself, the DIY projects of our life, and how do we help people to know that it's okay to ask for help, to have people know intimate details of your life and it not be a scary thing?
I think for me personally, I'm a learn by example type person. So if we, as a group here, start leading by example, and that amplifies to other people across the world. Because I'm sure you saw your parents do things independently, and that's where you got your stubborn, independent attitude of, I can do this by myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you don't. So if we start within ourselves and show other people that it's okay to be vulnerable and ask for help when you need it, how that would change other people's minds.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I don't think I'm that stubborn.
Just a little.
Probably anybody that knows me would say I'm stubborn and independent. Because, and I'm sure most people, at least our age, would go, well, if I'm not going to do it for myself, who will?
Mm-hmm.
And have that mentality and that mindset of, well, if I don't, who's going to help me? Well, you don't know unless you ask.
Yeah.
And my thought process is if you're people that you're around all the time, who you call your friends or your family, if you ask them, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I'm stranded. I don't have gas. My tire exploded, whatever. And they don't say, hey, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you. Give me however long it takes to get there and I'll be there. Are they your true friends and family?
Nope.
I don't think so. But that, I think, goes to our community of what society says should be versus what the Bible says it should be.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, how would you describe what society says our community should be?
That's a hard question.
It is.
I think, at least for my generation,
Mm-hmm.
society says, at least in schools today, you're supposed to be with the popular kids, and it doesn't matter the choices they make or what they say, what they do. It's just you want to be the coolest kid in school or the most popular. And so I feel like in today's society, we just surround ourselves with the people that we think will make us look better instead of the people that will make us better people.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, at least in my age bracket, would go, well, if they make me look better, I look like a great person. But if they make me better, then that challenges the things that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
Then that might make me uncomfortable. And we don't like being uncomfortable.
No.
I mean, we've had those conversations, laughing,
Correct.
going, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to do this. It's going to make me uncomfortable.
Yes.
Well, but is it a bad thing?
No.
Not always. Sometimes, absolutely. Bad
Everyone has their
decision.
limits.
We all have our limits. But is it always? I mean, what's the biggest risk? Biggest risk. Wow, that was good English.
English, please.
I mean, what is it? That we might fail at something? But is that really a bad thing? I mean, to me, I think if we fail, it's a chance for growth. It's a chance for opportunity, a chance and opportunity to get better.
Even if you fail, you're still learning something, learning how to change to do it better the next time.
Yeah. But what about like our churches? You know, people say so much, at least I've heard them say, that, you know, if your family at home isn't good, go to your church and they'll be good for you. Or go to youth group or find a small group, somebody, and just, they'll be good. They'll be safe people you can talk to. What do you think about that? You have an opinion. I can see it all over your face.
Some people will not agree with my opinion on this.
That's perfect.
But in today's society, people at the church are so judgy and pretend to be so perfect that if you go to them for help, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to help because they don't want to look like how you feel. Like they don't want to show that Christians aren't perfect and that we still make mistakes.
Right? Like, but I think of even if, like for me, when I went to a youth group and I was struggling with stuff and I talked to people about it, like, no, obviously not everyone had the same response, but the ones that I actually like got super close to, it was because they went, hey, I've struggled with that too. And there was some vulnerability on both of our parts of saying, I'm not okay right now. And us going to each other for it. Now, I've also done the other part where I went to people that I knew wouldn't point me to God because I didn't want to actually fix my problems. And I didn't want people to be in my circle that were going to ask me, hey, have you prayed about it? Or let's pray about this. You know.
And we get so caught up in the mindset that Christians have to be perfect people, that if we go to the people that we know will point us back to God, we're worried that we're going to be judged or told not to come back to the church or all the things. So we surround ourselves with those people that aren't good for us.
Yeah.
Just to feel like we belong somewhere.
Yeah. And who cares if we don't belong somewhere? I mean, it takes a while to get to that point. I mean, I'm in my late 20s. Oh. Stabbed through the heart. And it wasn't like it's been great. And I've been like, who cares what anybody else thinks for 20 years? It's been a process. And there's been things that I go, I don't care what anybody thinks about this. But then this other part of my life, I'm like, I'm not telling nobody.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel you on that one.
When we've talked about that.
Yes. We all have those secret rooms in our lives that we keep locked away and we think no one can see it.
And I have such an amazing poker face. About as good as yours.
Yeah.
That I realize that if people ask me, what's going on? Are you okay? They're going to see it all over my face.
They already know something's wrong.
They do. And now sometimes my face might say something and it's really just a blank face because I'm just deep in thought somewhere and I'm not paying any attention to my face and my face says I'm not okay, but really I'm following a train in a rabbit hole in my brain that's thinking about, oh, I wonder if those shoes that I saw 5 months ago are still on sale or still available, or maybe they have my size now. And it has nothing to do with anything, but I have a confused look or an upset look because I didn't buy the shoes.
Yeah.
And really, it's nothing wrong. It's just that rabbit trail. But I think if we have that good community, like we have now in each other, we know most of the time, hey, something's really bugging you.
And I think with that community, it's important for people to know that that community can change. And it doesn't have to be the same consistent two people that have been in your life since birth.
No.
And so someone one time gave me a really great example of when you launch a spaceship, the boosters fall off once it hits a certain altitude. So sometimes there are people in your life that are only meant to go with you until you reach that new altitude. And then someone else comes.
I haven't heard that. That's really cool.
Good advice from someone.
It is good advice. And that's so true. But it's hard.
It is hard.
Especially in smaller towns, or even not necessarily small towns, but towns that feel small, where you grow up with people and you think, they're my best friends since kindergarten. Well, do you still have stuff in common?
Probably not. But even in your own families, it's important to realize that maybe those aren't the people that are supposed to be in your inner circle that will point you back to God every time you need something. And so it's okay that once you get to that new altitude in your relationship with Christ, that it's okay that they're still there because they're not meant to go to that next level with you.
I like that. I'm going to have to remember that. We'll see if I really remember it. I will so butcher that, though, if I try to say it.
We'll practice.
We're going to have to. I'm going to need it written down for me. But, I mean, it's true. Like, I look back over all the years of my life, and I think back to all the friends that I've had in my life and family I've had. And there's some that I know walked me through some terrible times in my life. The woman that helped me when my grandma passed away of cancer, loved her to death in that moment. Not that I don't love her now, but I don't see her. I don't talk to her. I don't have any relationship with her now.
She's not your new altitude.
She's not my new altitude. And not because she doesn't love Jesus or anything, but I don't need her today the way I did when I was a child going through that grief. But then today I look at the people in my life, and some of them are very crazy.
I feel called out.
But I love it because it's my kind of crazy. And it's the crazy that I need for today. I'm going to steal it. I don't know about y'all, but I think I'm going to try to use that again. We'll see if I do. But what about those that are scared to open up.
That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to open up sometimes. Speaking from experience. Sometimes we're taught to keep our problems to ourselves.
Yeah.
And that your problems aren't everybody else's problems.
Mm.
But it's important to find that person that you can talk to about no matter what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's, hey, I just need to rant for a minute and nothing I say, don't take offense to anything I say to you, but I just need a minute to let everything go.
Yeah.
And so it's important to surround yourself with those communities that you know will support you in times even like that.
Yeah. That's hard to find. So many people want the easy fix and want to just put a Band-Aid on their problems or on their life, or just put a Snapchat filter on their photos and call that real life. But then in reality, they don't even look the same in person. And you're like, who are you? You have freckles? I've never seen you with freckles, and I've seen 50,000 pictures of your face. But because of that filter that we put on that takes those freckles away. And
it's the same in real life. We put that filter on that hides all the pain and all the problems.
Yes.
And that's how we walk into the outside, is that we're the perfect person when in reality we're not okay.
Right.
And we just need to find that community that will support us even on the days when we're not okay.
Yes. And even being in that community going, hey, I'm here for you no matter what time it is, no matter what's going on, no matter when it is, no matter what, I'm here. When you are in that community, it can be hard because you go, oh my gosh, I'm here for this person or these people, and I know that they're here for me, but it's been a day, and can they handle this part or this emotion or whatever? It's like people when they get abused or are in a horrific traumatic event, that they'll start telling little bits of what happened that are horrific. And depending on the reaction,
they won't tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, because if you can't handle it in their eyes, whether it's you really can't handle hearing all of the gory details, or you just are overcome with emotions to the point that it seems like you can't handle it, makes them shut down. And I think it's important when we're in those communities to know, hey, this is my limit today. To know, hey, you can talk to me about anything, but for right now, because I'm going through some traumatic thing, whether it's I lost a family member, going through a breakup, a divorce, lost job, just a change in the job, whatever, and knowing, hey, you can talk to me about anything, but when it comes to this topic that I'm struggling with, I can't handle it today. And then being okay with it.
Yes.
And I think that's the part that's hard for me, is going, okay, you can talk to me, but this part I can't handle today, and I'm going to be okay that I can't handle it. I don't do well at that. I know you know. It's fine. At least I know that I struggle with that. But there is hope that everyone truly does have somebody that is supposed to be in their community. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure you felt about the same way I did, and I feel like we've had this conversation for a long time thinking, are we going to find that person that's supposed to be in our life to go through crappy times with and good times with? Didn't we have this conversation?
Yes.
Good. I didn't dream it. There's been plenty of conversations I've dreamed we've had. Then you remind me that was in your dream.
Not a real conversation.
But there was hope for us. And there's hope for anybody because, in my opinion, if there's hope for the two of us to find each other and to be able to say, today, yes, we're best friends, we're sisters, and we've known each other for a very short amount of time, there's hope for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how old we are. And I think for the other part that I had to get okay with was I thought for a long time my inner circle was going to look like me and was going to be my same age. And that's not true. I mean, I think of my inner circle right now, today, and
It's a little all over the place.
it's a little all over the place.
Yeah, we just have to remember that it doesn't matter how old we are, or what background we come from, or where we're from, that our inner circle doesn't have to be just like us.
Yeah.
It's built for those people that God's placed in our lives for specific parts of whatever we're going through.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me that's struggling with words today. Absolutely. And I think that gives hope to people. At least I hope it gives hope to people of your inner circle is what God wants. And sometimes we have to let go of that control.
Let go and let God.
Let go and let God. Because otherwise, if we don't and we try to control it, it never works out. Not the way it's supposed to. That's for sure. And normally I end up upset. You can say I end up upset when I try to take control. It's fine. It'll only hurt my feelings a little bit. But yeah, there's hope. There's hope that everyone will find their community.
Absolutely.
Whatever that means. Anything else that you feel like we should talk about with community?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. And, if you're struggling with finding your community, with feeling like you're going crazy, like we've felt before, reach out to us, comment, find us. I mean, maybe not in a creepy sense, find us. But find your community and know that it doesn't matter how old you are, what you've gone through, what your socioeconomic status is or has been in the past. Your community is out there and God's got it. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see y'all later.